Welcome to the Dhanraj Sir Method, Living the Subject. Your potential is limitless with the right mentor.
All right, let's dig into the story of two of India's most fascinating soils. We're going to uncover how they're born, what they're made of, and believe it or not, how they shape everything from the food on our plates to the very houses we live in.
So let me ask you something. When you look out at a landscape, what do you think tells its deepest, truest story? Is it the trees, the climate, the animals you might see?
Well, the answer is actually right there under our feet. It's the soil. Think of it like a biography of the land, a silent witness that holds all the secrets of geology, climate, and life going back thousands, even millions of years. And in our story today, we've got two main characters, two very different personalities from the world of Indian soils, red soil and laterite soil. Okay, so what's the one big thing you need to know right off the bat? It all comes down to water. Their entire identities are shaped by it. Red soil is a child of scarcity, formed where there's not a lot of rain. Laterite soil? It's the exact opposite. It's born from a dramatic abundance of water, forged in the heat of intense, heavy tropical downpours. So how does that actually happen? How do these completely opposite conditions create two soils with such different destinies? It's time to get into their origin stories. Red soil starts its life with some of the oldest stuff on the planet, ancient rocks like granites and gneisses. We're talking about super hard rocks that have been squeezed and cooked deep inside the earth. Over huge stretches of time, in places with pretty low rainfall, these tough rocks just slowly, patiently get broken down by the weather. And the result of that long, gradual process is this classic red soil. Now, laterite soil, its birth is way more dramatic. It's forged in the intense environment of a tropical monsoon climate. So you've got high temperatures and tons of rain, followed by distinct dry seasons. This extreme wet and dry cycle kicks off this really unique and powerful process called leaching, which creates a totally different kind of soil right there on the spot. So what exactly is this leaching process? Well, imagine a power washer that just won't quit. That's kind of what the heavy tropical rain does. It dissolves all the good, soluble stuff, the key nutrients, from the top layer of soil and just washes them way down, far beyond the reach of most plants. The topsoil is basically stripped clean, left infertile. Let's just walk through that real quick. First, boom, the intense rain hits. Then, key ingredients like lime and silica get washed away, sinking deeper and deeper. This leaves the topsoil fundamentally changed. It's been stripped of its fertility. So what's left behind? Pretty much just the heavy stuff, iron oxides and aluminum compounds. This whole process is the key to understanding what laterite soil is all about. Okay, so we've got two completely different origin stories. How does that affect who they are today? Let's take a look under the surface and really compare their core personalities. At first glance, you might think they look pretty similar. I mean, they're both red, right? And that's true, they both get that color from iron oxides. But there's a little story in their shades. Red soil's color can actually change, sometimes looking more yellow if there's more water involved. Laterite soil, though, it has this very distinct, deep, brick-like red color. That's the permanent signature of that intense leaching process it went through. Their pasts even affect how they feel to the touch. Red soil is light, porous, and loose. It's got plenty of space for air and water to move through. Laterite, on the other hand, is coarse and friable, which is just a fancy word meaning it crumbles really easily. And why is that? Because the silica, which kind of acts like the glue in soil, has been totally washed away by all that rain. This chart here gives us a fantastic side-by-side breakdown. Just look at the fertility row. Red soil's fertility can vary, but the key thing is it responds really well to fertilizers. Now glance over at the laterite column. It's just generally infertile. It's missing key stuff like potash and lime. And because all the alkaline elements got washed away, it's acidic. That is a tough place for a lot of plants to grow. So we have these two soils with very different makeups and textures. What does that actually mean for us, for farming, for building? Let's take a look at how we put these soils to work. Because red soil formed in drier areas, it's naturally great for dry farming. But here's the cool thing about it. It's very responsive. If you add the right fertilizers and some irrigation, it can produce fantastic crops. You'll see things like groundnuts and potatoes up on the higher ground, but in the lowlands where there's more water, it can even support thirsty crops like sugarcane and rice. It's just remarkably versatile. Now, farming on laterite soil is a whole different ballgame. It's naturally acidic, it doesn't hold on to moisture, it's a real challenge. You have to manage it carefully with fertilizers and water. But here's the twist.
For certain high-value crops that have adapted to these tough conditions, it's perfect. Think about the incredible tea, coffee, and rubber plantations you find at higher elevations, or cashew nuts. These crops actually thrive where others would just give up.
And this right here reveals probably the most surprising thing about laterite soil. It has a secret identity. When you dig it out of the ground in blocks and expose it to the air, it hardens like iron. This incredible property has made it a prized building material for centuries. It is literally soil you can build a house with. How wild is that?
Okay, so after digging through all of this, from their creation to their chemistry to farming and even construction, what's the big idea? What's the main takeaway from our tale of two soils?
At the end of the day, it all comes back to water. Their entire identities, everything from their color to what you can do with them, is dictated by one simple fact. Red soil tells a story of scarcity, of slow, patient change. Laterite soil tells a story of abundance, of dramatic, rapid transformation caused by a flood of water.
And that brings us to a final thought. Every handful of soil, anywhere in the world, tells the story of how it was made. So the next time you step outside, take a look down. Think about the rain, the rock, and the time that went into creating what's right under your feet. What story is it telling you?